Hey, this is Justin. It is Tuesday morning. This is a walk and talk, getting some ideas outside the head, or out of the head into the world, into a place where they can potentially become useful. I want to talk about morning routine this morning. So I got up this morning, was a little bit like groggy when I woke up this morning, so didn't necessarily get the best sleep last night. Didn't do like kind of my closeout routines from the night from last night, and decided to do about 25 minutes of phone time. I did a little bit of research. A little bit of research, some automations this morning, and before I got out of bed, then went to the gym and then started on the walk, and then realized that a lot of the work that I did was the research work could have been accomplished during a walk and talk. So what happens, I think, and I get into the phone, I think, and typically it was like, oh, let's do more of this, right? And it's just like kind of work through more of this. And I realized I could have done probably 90% of what I did because it was brainstorming, and what I was doing is tagging opportunities. Um, so coming up with a model of like how do we choose like what kind of which opportunity like I want to do some research on, and like and where I want to start working on some automation. So I did tags. I got like a couple of items in there, and I could actually just review the entire list verbally, talk through each one of the different items, and I think inside of that could probably get the system that I need for tagging everything up, and then starting to the items that prioritize the items that we want to prioritize, or coming up with the tags that we want to come up with to make the solution. So I realized this could have been a walk and talk, that original piece that we actually did, at least as far as the brainstorming goes, to come up with some of the newer ideas. Or what typically happens is it can be an enhancement to something that we're already already working on. So more like, hey, can we? Here's the question. It is just like, whenever there is an opportunity to go for a walk, take that opportunity, pivot the work that kind of would have done regularly, and then pivot that work and then do it during the walk, and then do the phone stuff. Do the work on the phone, do the work on the computer, when we're kind of forced to be in that place. When we're forced to be in that place with the phone and the computer, but don't necessarily choose that, because I could have been out walking about 30 minutes earlier today than I was, I could have been out walking 30 minutes earlier and could have accomplished probably more than actually what got accomplished sitting down, and then afterwards could have taken sort of the raw data and started doing some of the tagging that I was doing, with what I call like the stale energy, right? That stale energy of having to do kind of a lot of structuring, and it was Notion like database structuring with the head. All right, and so lesson learned on that one. Now out, feeling great. We'll get the whole number, like the large number of steps in. So I'm looking at training myself to do more. If the name of the game is to do more walking and talking, then there's an opportunity to do some practice of the walking and talking. When there's a breakdown, from the systems, and we need to actually be in front of a computer to accomplish or in front of a phone or a computer. A phone is first choice. I can't necessarily sit on the phone that long when I'm typing. And then computer is the second choice afterwards, and then you do automation in those places, and that allows for less phone and computer time in the future, right? And so, name of the game is like, if we have an opportunity to be present with a human being, then do that first. Second is going on a walk and talk, being out, doing something physical, and then moving. Third is, I think actually, if we have the opportunity to do like real work in front of a computer, that actually makes sense. It's probably a more effective way to get a lot of the work done. And then fourth is do the work via phone, kind of sitting facing phone, and not necessarily, facing phone, and not present out there in the world. So I think those are the ways to start to look. And then also, if we have an opportunity to do exercise that is more than just a walk. That is also a prioritization, right? Doing more strenuous exercise that's more of a walk, right? So and I think that's like the highest priority. And you do that a couple of times a day because you got to recover from the more strenuous exercise. So again, the walks are pretty, walking is pretty, uh, you can do quite a bit of it, right? It doesn't need to be managed. It doesn't need to be controlled. And then the walk and talks don't necessarily need to also, they don't need to be controlled. We kind of have at least personally have an unlimited supply of energy to be able to do that, or a much less limited supply of energy to do the walk and talks that way. So, all right, this is me just working out, working out sort of my prioritization shift. Also worth noting is let me just make sure here. I've got Otter running in the background. Oh, maybe I don't of this message. I think this one froze. Oh, because I'm on a live stream, of course. Most of the time we have got Otter running in the background, so we're actually capturing the stuff that we're talking about here, so we can start putting it into the workflow, and it's coming up with kind of algorithmic ways to personal algorithmic ways, so we don't have to think about the decision making process, where we can go and just get into creating more health, creating more connection, creating more stuff that might make a difference for other people. So that's where I talk about the creating and the building more, the creating and the building more energy, and then also doing, I'll call them postmortems, but debriefs. You make decisions that might not necessarily be the best decision in the moment. But what it does is when you start making those decisions, like doing that tagging that I did a little bit earlier on today, kind of woke me up to the option of being like, oh, that could have been accomplished during a walk and talk, and during a walk and talk, or just a video or audio recording session earlier on during the day. So I think that's a fun one. I'm gonna mess around and create a bunch of Loom videos in a few minutes. We'll share those out with plan to share those out with some people later on, to some people that I want to connect with. And that was it. So if you are seeing this and there's some kind of want to kick around some ideas, do some asynchronous stand-ups or asynchronous walk and talks, sharing some stuff back and forth during asynchronous conversations. I'd love to chat with you, and I'm going to leave that one there for right now. Hope you're having an extraordinary day, and we'll speak soon.